Welcome back, Commanders, to another Alliance Briefing Friday, the show where you get all the information you need for your Alliance to help you in the week ahead, as well as catch up with the week just gone. In this video, we go over the news from the Marvel Strike Force website that's come out during the week. We cover some of the best content creators on YouTube and recommend some videos for you guys to go and watch. And we go over this week's blog and the events. So if you want to know how to get prepared for next week, as well as everything that is coming to the game in the very near future, then you know what to do. Join me in this video. So, as I said, we have had a fair bit of news this week come to us, and the first piece of news is the first legendary from the Age of Annihilus. That is right, we are getting the Quantum Legend Quasar, and there were some really cool videos done by a few of the envoys who had some packages sent to them with some details as to what this legendary was. But let's just go ahead and quickly look at this blog. Okay, so here we are, the Quantum Legend, Chapter 1 Legend. So for those of you that don't know, the Annihilus saga, the Age of Annihilus, is going to be split into 3 chapters and then a finishing chapter, which will be the Annihilus chapter himself. In each of the chapters, we are going to get a legendary, and you are going to earn this legendary just through engagement of play. Wendell Vaughn was a promising shield agent who defied expectations when he proved worthy of wielding the quantum band, ancient artifacts of immense cosmic. Now, I believe these quantum bands are the same quantum bands that Ms. Marvel has in the MCU at the moment. So if you want to know what they are, transformed into Quasar, protector of the universe, he gained the ability to manipulate quantum energy, create powerful constructs, fly at light speed, and survive the vacuum of space. With a strong sense of duty and a connection to the very fabric of the cosmos, Quasar stands as one of the galaxy's greatest defenders against threats beyond imagination. So I've got to admit, I'm not too up to date on Quasar as a whole, and I will do some research on him actually, because he looks a pretty cool character. He is an Alliance War legend, so this is the good thing about these. These legendaries are plug and play until, well, even past when we get the team, but they will be on a team with Annihilus when all is said and done. So he's got Quantum Constructs, which is the newest battlefield effect. Is activated with his awakened ultimate ability on the allied side and lasts until 18 characters, allies and enemies have completed their turns. It reduces enemy assist chance by 100%, active healing by 30%, blocks enemies from gaining charged or safeguard, and on enemy turn, reduces the duration of one random positive effect by 2. That's quite clever, and I'm going to be interested to see how they actually pull this battlefield effect off, because yeah, they had some issues with Gore in the early days where they couldn't get him to remove the battlefield effects, or they could, but they couldn't show it visually, which they've now figured out. We want everyone to end Chapter 1 with a 7-star Quasar, so we're making this unlock simple and straightforward. Command Center will be the home of Quasar, character shard progress, and all you have to do to get his shards is complete Command Center objectives through Chapter 1. That's right, no offers, special calendars, or hoops, just play. Okay, cool. With strong daily play, you can unlock Quasar at the end of the first month and have him at 7 yellow stars by the end of the chapter. We will have catch-up opportunities via objectives if you fall behind in progress, but if you happen to enter the chapter partway through or don't have Quasar at 7 stars by the end of the chapter, we'll have a special event later in Chapter 2 to ensure you don't miss out. But unlocking Quasar during Chapter 1 will be the easiest and fastest method, so make every day count. Red stars, whether you call them trials or still call them scourges, we can all agree to call them can't miss opportunities. We have a trial scourge event during Chapter 1 That'll be your ticket to Quasar Red Stars. You'll need the newest teams to make progress, so be on the lookout for your chance to build these squads. And if you want to know how I keep up with this game free to play, then I have a series called Build Positively that I put out every single month. And so go and check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the top corner there on the card. So Quasar is a hero cosmic mystic brawler legendary. He has a speed of 129. That's pretty quick. Yeah, he is pretty good. Awakened ability on his special, on his basic, his ultimate, and his passive. Okay, be interesting to see where we get these awakened abilities from and if we can get them free to play. I won't go through all the abilities. There are plenty of videos that have done, but I will also leave a link to this blog in the description down below. And as if that wasn't enough reveals for the week, just that one legendary, they then go and drop on the Thunderbolts team for us. That's right, we know that the Vigilante team is now nearly complete with only Hitmonkey left to go. So it is time for us to find out about the new team. And this team we already knew the members of because we had done the fan voting for them. But how good are they? Let's go take a quick look. Okay, so Chapter 1 of Thunderbolts. This blog came out on April the 17th, and I am going to skim this blog. I will leave a link in the description down below for you guys to go and have a look at it properly. Basically, these guys are the new Bio Raid team. However, they are not just a raid team, which seems really good. 5 weapons, 1 mission. Each Thunderbolt plays a key role in their raid success to ensure they stay in the fight and can mow down wave after wave of raid enemies. So we've got Victoria Hand, who is charged up support. While charged, if an enemy attacks Victoria Hand or a Thunderbolt ally, she's going to generate 1 ability energy for 2 random Thunderbolt allies. And when charged, she or a Thunderbolt ally drops below 75, 50, or 25% health, she's going to heal that character. Sounds pretty cool as a top-down. Songbird, big first turn. Enemies will be singing a different tune with Songbird around. Not only does she provide important boosts to crit chance and crit damage in raids, but she provides a big opening turn. Thunderbolt allies can't gain ability block or trauma before Songbird takes a turn. So they can't basically get an early ability block or trauma on you. And her ultimate flips all negative effects, and her special ability weakens enemies even if they possess Safeguard. And then Hyperion is the taunt specialist, solar charged living wall, and he stands before his team to take the brunt of the enemy's damage. He can taunt often. If he takes too much damage, he can patch himself up. Taunt early and often with this low-cost special ability taunt. Reduce the duration of the taunt on adjacent targets with his special. When dropping below 50% health for the first time, he's going to clear all negative effects on himself and heal himself. And then we've got the updates for Taskmaster and Ghost. Both of these characters had solid kits, so all they've really done to them is given them a bit more oomph in their stats, which is quite nice. Again, I'm not going to go over all the kits. I will have an infographic made for these guys once they become available on MSF GG, and I can see what the T4s for each of these characters actually do, because that does play a big part in what the ISO 8 recommendations are for me. Okay, and one extra thing I do want to bring to your attention, which is newsworthy, is the fact that they stealthily changed the Alliance event. Now, I didn't notice this when it was live in game, and thank you to one of the commenters on my event video on Monday that picked up that basically the milestone had changed. So this is the chart that I was working with. This was last week's chart, and you can see here that milestone 20 was 600,000 points, and that would get you the 100,000 X coins. However, if we look in game, 680,000 points is required to clear this milestone. And that would have given you an extra 100,000 X coins for that Gear Tier 20 store. Now, 680,000 points is not achievable free to play as an alliance. And there was a part in the live stream that they did with Ryan Jacobson and Pathfinder about the Age of Annihilus. And they were going on about how important our time is as players and that they value our time. Well, this, to me, shows a complete and utter lack of respect for our time. If you can change this so that it is unobtainable when for the past 2 weeks it has been obtainable for alliances, if you can change that at a drop of a hat like that, to stop people from getting X coins to get into the Professor Xavier saga free to play, that is a pretty scummy move in my opinion. And we've got receipts for this. So let's take a look at the part where he said that exact wording.
For me, it was just more or less wanted to create a system that was really rewarding time and engagement, which I think is really the most valuable thing we all have, and to try and create more of a level playing field in terms of the ability to earn this currency and not making it so that, you know, spenders had this great advantage over potentially a low spender or a free-to-play player, but rather, no, if you're engaging in the game, you all are earning potentially the same amount of currency, and all the items in the shop are, you know, for everyone. So really just trying to bring back really a reason and a want and a desire to play the core lanes again, the core modes, and then engaging in the core loop is really ultimately why we made that choice.
Okay, so it's going to be less about you know, your ability to spend your way through something, more about, hey, I really have to play the game. I have to spend time, which is obviously incredibly valuable.
Yep.
And that's it for the news. Do you want to know what I've been watching this week on YouTube where Marvel Strike Force is concerned? Or if you do, then join me in the Signal Boost. All right, so first up, and the first video we are going to cover is the legendary announcement from Dulum. Yes, this was brilliant. His face in this thumbnail does actually say it all as to how he was in the actual video itself. Dulum, Valley Flying, and Desir all had videos on this, and they all had special codes for free stuff. So if you haven't already done that, you have code Dulum, code Valley Flying, and code Desir. All of those are done in capital letters on the player gift section. I'll leave a link to the player gift section down below in the description. But this video was really, really good, and it is really nice of Scopely to send the envoys these little goodies to be able to make these videos. Well worth watching. Obviously, we've just gone over Quasar, the new legendary, but it is well worth watching, and I certainly had a blast watching Dulum unbox this box of goodies. Don't forget, while you're over there, throw him a like, throw him a subscribe if you're not already. That really does help all the content creators that we cover here. The next video that I want to bring your attention to is Desir, and obviously this week we had the Professor Xavier saga launch, and Desir has gotten a fair way through. He is a spender, but he has gotten through to the Shadow King, I believe it is which is the global villain nodes I think he's on to now, or the global hero nodes. But he goes over the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Professor Xavier saga. So go check this video out. You might learn a thing or two about the saga and maybe avoid some pitfalls that he might have fallen into. And on the subject of the Professor Xavier saga, we have Dorky Dad coming in with an interview with Ceci, who got through this quite early on. There are some really insightful choices here as to how to get through the Professor Xavier saga the best. And I would use these if I was you, especially if you, like me, are free to play. So go and check this video out and get all the knowledge you need to know about the Professor X saga. And last but not least, this week we have a Crucible video coming in from Updog. This is a Crucible recap from the past week where he's been playing a few accounts for some of his Alliance members whilst they've been away on holiday. But the conclusion he has come up with, and this is in the thumbnail, is we need to be bringing Odin to offense. I already had Odin to offense on the first week, last week. I think he is a very good offensive tool. But go and check out what Updog's recommendations are in this video. And again, whilst you are over there, don't forget to drop a like. And if you are not already, give him a subscribe. Okay, so now we are going to cover the blog in a very similar fashion to how we have been. So on April the 19th at 2 p.m. PDT, we are going to get the King in Black event turn up in the command center. Now, this will only show up if you unlock the King in Black or if you get him to 5 yellow stars. So if you do not do either of those things, then you will not see this event turn up. I am guessing that we are going to be able to get our 5th red star on Null in this event, but they have not said that in the blog at all. April the 21st, that is Monday at 2 p.m. PDT, or if you're like me in the UK, 10 p.m. BST, so British Summertime. We've got the Battle Pass for Havoc, so a brand new Battle Pass coming to us. We have Fallen Dimension coming to the game. And we also have the Power Core Orb and the offers and the red stars for Hitmonkey becoming available. Twitch drops are also back this week. If you watch a content creator for 1 hour, you will get 2 million gold. 2 hours is 200 power cores. 4 hours is those very, very needed 500 L3 training modules. And as per usual, guys, if you wanted to do this over the course of the week, that is 35 minutes per day, which is not a lot. You don't have to have them. You know, you don't have to watch them. You don't have to be with the community. You don't have to engage with them if you don't want to. You could just have this on your browser or on your phone to the side and just, you know, even have the tab itself on mute so that you are getting the Twitch drops. Now, we mentioned Fallen Dimension. The Fallen Dimension is going to require a minimum of 5 characters for every node except node 6, which only allows 3 characters. And you are going to need a minimum of Gear Tier 17, 4 yellow, 3 red, and green ISO level 5 to take part in this. However, I have been able to data mine the nodes. Let's take a look at those. All right, so I went into the data mines earlier when the server reset, and I found the data mines for both the Fallen Dimension and the Fallen Dimension Omega. I have done the Fallen Dimension. I have not the Omega one yet, but I will get to that over the course of this weekend. So node 1, which apparently according to the blog is Vigilante or Skill. Your first wave is level 90, Gear Tier 17, 5 yellow, 3 red, and it is literally a bunch of hand minions. Once they're all dead, you're going to follow with Nobu, Electra, Bullseye, Swarm, Vulture, and Morbius at level 90, Gear Tier 17, 5 yellow stars, 4 red stars. I'm not going to go through it all in this video. I will leave this in the Jetson Squad Discord, so there'll be a link to this spreadsheet on the Jetson Squad Discord, which there will be a link to in the description down below. And I will also leave a link to this in the YouTube community tab. So do go and take a look at it on your own time. However, one thing I do want to bring your guys' attention to is that these are all quite easy nodes. However, I wouldn't say that the recommendation of gear tier 17 is going to be good enough, especially when we get down to these nodes here, where you've got gear tier 18 here, gear tier 18 here with a Black Knight. That's going to be really painful if you're going to go into that with gear tier 17. Load of Kree minions, and then going into an Annihilators on the third wave at level 95, gear tier 18. And then we have this one here, again, level 97, gear tier 18. And here we have a Kingpin at level 100, gear tier 19. So there is no way that the recommendation or the minimum recommendation that they made will actually get you all the way through this. Now, one thing I do want to bring to your attention is that in the blog, it only mentions 12 nodes. However, in the data mines, there are 13 nodes total. So until it goes live in game, we really aren't going to know what all this is about. Fallen Dimension Omega does require 5 vigilante characters though as well, so do remember that. Okay, so now we have covered what is going on in the Pocket Dimension. Let's have a look at the events for next week. The first event we have is our solo event, Monkey Business. That is going to start on Monday, the 21st of April and finish on the 28th of April because it is a 7-day event. Crimson Storm, the Alliance event, is also going to start on Monday, the 21st of April and is a 6-day event again, so it will finish on Sunday, the 27th of April. You're going to be battling in raids, collecting Chaotic Storm milestone points and collecting the Allied Supply 7 orb fragments. But it is at the same as it is this week. So that's 680,000 points, which means you are not going to get those 100,000 X coins. Excessive is next week's Quick Rumble. That is going to start on Friday, the 25th of April and finish on the 27th of April, which is Sunday. And next week, you're going to need your X-Force leveled or built, as in yellow starred, to get extra points. And we're just going to quickly go over Monkey Business. This is a leaderboard event, and unfortunately there are only 2 real inputs for us as free to play. We have battling in raids with the Vigilantes team. Now, I do not know if this is counting singular Vigilante characters, so i.e. if you were to go into the node with Daredevil Modern, Punisher, and Elektra, is that scoring you 15,000 points, or is that only scoring you 5,000 points? I know for certain that on the command center one that we're doing at the moment, the Starlight Vigil, where you have to raid with Vigilantes, it is only counting if you raid with Vigilantes on the node as 1. So you need to do 6 raid nodes to get those points. So whether they've done the same in this event, I am not sure. The other free-to-play input is the Earn 1 Professional Primate Orb Fragment, which is coming from Fallen Dimension. Every orb fragment is going to give you 2 points. Everything else here is considered the whale point scoring. So it is battling raids with Hitmonkey at 5, 6, and 7 yellow stars, Silver Sable at 5, 6, and 7 yellow stars, and Daredevil Modern at 5, 6, and 7 yellow stars. And again, this week, if you haven't already bought enough Daredevil Modern Diamond Orbs at £15 a pop, you can go and help yourself to 5 more Daredevil Modern Diamond Orbs, putting that money into Scopely to try and get your Daredevil Modern to 3 diamonds. It is also going to give you 75,000 points. The total points in this event is 390,000 points. The Cerebro helmet and all the X-Men badges are going to be at 98,000 points. The total X-Men badges available in this is by 50,000, and the total X coins available free to play I have put down at 455,000. And to get that, you are going to need to play 2 raid battles per day with your Vigilante team and clear the Fallen Dimension. And that is I'm guessing that because we don't know what the primate orb fragments are. Come back on Monday. I will go over the event in full detail once we know all the things like the daily free claim and everything that is involved in the events. And obviously, thirdly, you're going to want to go to the web store to collect your daily free claim. And this is the table you can see here. 83,000 is milestone 14. And that is where I am tempted to say we are going to cap out as free to play. I would like to say that we're going to get these 170,000 X coins. However, with them being tight and stingy and robbing those 100,000 X coins from us in the Alliance milestone, I cannot see this being achievable, but I am willing to be wrong again. And this is a leaderboard event. Not that we're going to be able to really compete free to play in this leaderboard. This is going to be all spender only. And this time we have gear tier 20 mutant pieces. Let me know what you're going to do in this event, really, because unless you have all 5 members of the vigilantes, you will not be able to go into the Fallen Dimension Omega, where there are some more of those primate orb fragments. So who knows? We will have to wait and see until Monday. And usually there would be a data mine section. However, there is nothing new in the data mines where the inbox is concerned today. So that is basically it for the data mines. It is just literally the pocket dimension that has showed up. Okay, so as we said, a absolutely jam-packed week of news and videos and stuff to do in game with the Professor Xavier saga. How have you enjoyed this week in Marvel Strike Force? I'd love for you to let me know down in the comments down below. Are there any content creators that I have not mentioned here that you feel I should? Again, please leave that in the comments down below. I love to hear from each and every one of you. Don't forget, play smart this week, be happy, and most importantly, stay positive.